What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this is my Shy Season 4, Episode 4 recap for The Girl from Chicago. Now, in this episode, we see that Emmett and Tiff are starting to see what it's like to have this open relationship and whether or not it's going to work out, as well as what's going on in the relationship between Tracy and Duda, and much more. So, when this episode breaks down, we're going to see, are these relationship issues really going to work, or is it going to all backfire and cause more problems down the long run? Let's break it down. So when the first episode, when it kicks off, first thing we see is that Tiff is laying back and somebody is eating some fresh made salmon, and it seems that they're enjoying it because he popping up and he's telling her to hold on, don't come for that special delivery just yet. Meanwhile, Emmett is not having the same experience, and although he got sausage on the menu, it seems that it's boring and that meal is not very entertaining or appealing to him. Whereas we see back and forth, the girl with him is asking, are you into it? He playing with the couch and trying to tell her yeah, whereas at the same time Tiff is really into it. We see Tracy waking up and she's in Duda's bed. He not there, and as she come down the stairs, Rose is saying something to her that's got her pissed because she's wondering, damn, she's here. She throws on a happy face though and fake fronts for Rose, and then as she was talking to her, she was ready to go. Rose had a couple things smart to say with her about getting up and what was going on, and then she was about to leave, but then she told her, well, you can't leave right now. And so she kind of looked a little smart, like, what you talking about? And she said, no, relax, I'm not trying to kidnap your ass. I'm just saying it's a protest going on, and then it'll be out people outside to see you. So what you need to do is go ahead and get a plate and have something to eat and chill. Welcome to politics. Basically, you got bit off a little more than you can chew last night. And so she goes ahead and pulls up a chair and gets ready to have a little something else to eat. Meanwhile, we see Kev, and he's in counseling with his mamas, and they both are all on him, talking about how they don't know if they can trust him. He's been acting out lately and going through a lot, and even the counselor, who's another lady, is asking him what's going on, and he kind of feels like they've been riding him hard, and it seems that he needs some type of male role model in his life. And Dre is asking what's going on, why you think we've been coming at you like that, and next thing you know, Nina and Dre is talking to the counselor about their issues. Meanwhile, the counselor says, hey, do you think things could be better if you could be trusted, if they made a couple agreements and things? And he said, yeah, I do. I believe they can trust me if they give me a chance. And so it seems that Kev is trying to make some type of deal that they'll give him a break if he could prove to them that he's trustworthy and that he's gonna get his stuff together in school. Meanwhile, we see Jake and Gemma, and she got her little revolutionary little raspberry beret sitting there, broke off to the side, and Jake seemed to be liking what she talking about while she trying to, while they sitting there waiting to see what's gonna happen about what happened when they was talking crazy on the little show she got. And then Duda come in, and so they talking with the principal, and she a little smart mouth. The principal, he's a little shook up, but Duda is trying to tell them to chill. Then she's cussing, he's cussing, Jake is cussing, and the principal, he's old school. He's wanting to discipline them the old school way. And he's talking with Duda, and he's saying, what happened to the good old-fashioned ass whooping? And Duda say, well, we learned that don't work. We see right now that they use, their minds and their mouths to make things work. And so he ends up leaving, and we see that Duda got Jake back, really. Meanwhile, we see in the hood that Nook has got the girl that Imani did the hair for with him, and she looks real shy as she goes to get ready to get something out the store. He tell her to hurry up while he waits outside in front of the store. So she goes inside the store. While she's inside the little corner store bodega, we see Imani's in there and tells her to be cool. Don't worry. I got this phone for you. We can make some arrangements. I can help you get out of there. So Imani trying to push the issue to get this girl up out of there. And so she takes the phone from Imani, and she tells her that she's going to meet the girl at this train location to pick her up and help her get free. Meanwhile, we see that back at the house, Keisha's meeting with another couple about adoption, and they real religious and spiritual. And so we find out they got all the kids that they've adopted. Unfortunately, they were never able to have any kids of their own. And so Keisha's saying, well, how many kids you got? Do you tell all of them that they adopted? And they say, well, we believe in being honest and upfront with the kids, but no, we don't have any of our own, and we hope to have one more in the bunch. And we really thankful for what's going on. And Keisha's a little perturbed by their little churchification. And so she I guess maybe because her abductor was a little churchified, and when they was leaving, she didn't like all the stuff they were saying. Meanwhile, we see back at the school, Gemma's trying to organize a little boycott at the school and protest. And Kev is saying, hey, look, man, y'all tripping, man. We can't be doing that. You a little rich girl. She say, what that supposed to mean? He's saying, what I'm saying is you got people that's got your back. And if I do that, me and Jake, we gonna be in trouble. We ain't got the same situation you got. And so she's a little upset. Jake, he talked with him, and so everybody leave. He telling her, look, I care about you, but I don't think that I can do this. And so she realized, damn, he ain't really got my back. Meanwhile, we see that back in the hood, that Tiff and Keisha's in there eating some more Emmett's food, and she's telling her about, things between Emmett and everything, and she ain't really want to get into detail. Keisha like, come on girl, we done shared the same man and everything, I mean what? And so she start leaning in, talking a little bit about what's going on, and then Emmett walk up, what y'all talking about? And they saying, come on, damn, why you all in the demo like that? And so he always, self-conscious, one girl looking at his face, the other looking at his sausage. Meanwhile, he's like, okay, damn, I'm just saying. And so Tiff say, anyway, I need to talk to you. And so she go ahead and take him to the back room, and next thing you know, she's saying, look, why you was messing around with that girl? She used to work with me. He say, well, how I'm supposed to know what you do? And she said, yeah, well, I knew it was her because I could smell her little stanky cheap perfume. And he say, man, we need to make up some rules or something, because you always got some type of stuff to complain about. You over there seeing Dante. And she's saying, yeah, well, I'm just saying, you got that girl in our house. That was disrespectful. I mean, what are you doing? He say, man, you got all this stuff to say. What about what I need to say? I don't want you seeing Dante no more. And so she ain't really feeling that. Meanwhile, we see on the train that Imani has been waiting in the truck to pick up the little refugee, and she ain't broke out of the camp. She ain't there. So Imani pulls off without the girl. Meanwhile, we see back at school the next day, later that day, that Gemma and Jake, they looking at each other all side-eyed, ready, for the little revolution, because the revolution ain't gonna be televised. They putting the little slips inside the lockers, and Kev peep what's going on. She didn't even ask him to help. And so he's like, so what's up? What y'all doing? And she's like, well, we getting ready to put this, walk out. And so he's kind of wanting to help, but at the same time, he don't want to be a part of it because he just promised his moms that he was going to do the right thing. And Jake, he gives him one of the little walkout on racism little flyers. And so now Kev kind of feel like they trying to make him feel like he a sellout because he ain't part of their little revolution. And she said it would be good trouble, but he don't see it that way. Meanwhile, Keisha gone to see what's going on with the lady that she was checking on earlier about if she was going to adopt the baby or not. And so when she goes there, she ends up seeing Octavia people, and she asked Octavia's receptionist, Lil Red, how does she treat everybody around here? Is she, good to people, this, that, and the other? And she say, yeah, she's real good. And she takes her to the back where Octavia's office, and that girl had a walk on her like something was good down low. Meanwhile, we see Keisha. She's looking at all this little drawings and architecture things that Octavia's been working on, and Octavia come in and she say, so hey Keisha, how you doing? She say, I'm all right. I just wanted to talk. I see all this stuff. You do all this? She say, yeah. She say, well, when you see me, if I was a building, what kind of building would I be? She say, you would be real strong, girl. Meanwhile, we see that back at school, it's time for the walkout. So Jim and Jake give the little eye. They give the little look. Next thing you know, it's time for the revolution. And so he gave a look at Kev and everything. But they get up and the teacher telling them to sit back down. They keep it moving. They walk out. And so they think that it's about to be a big walkout demonstration. They get into the hallway. And when they get in the hallway, it ain't hardly nobody there. And then when they get to see Dakota in the hallway, she the only one. And that's another one of Jake's side pieces. He the only one got them side pieces in action. And so Dakota there and Gemma, and they saying, what happened to everybody? And so right off the top, one of the little administrators say that the principal ain't there. So they doing this walkout. The principal ain't even there. So now Gemma plan done fell apart completely. And so she's telling them to go back to school. So now Jake's saying, so now what? And so she's like, I don't know. I think Kev ruined everything. And so Jake tell him to hold on. He pulls the fire alarm. And so everybody starts to come out of class. Dakota say, I'll be your white shield. And she probably put that damn sign down and went back to class while they dumbass was running outside as if they was runaway slaves or something. And so they done ran away. And I don't know why they was running, but they kept it moving. Then they get around the corner and stop and say, so what we gonna do now? And meanwhile, we see later that Tracy is putting on a little dress or whatever, trying to look nice for Doodah. She got that little roast on display. He come on up, he like what he see, and he started talking to her, and he's saying he want her to come and do a speech. She like, oh, you using me now? He like, yeah, I mean, what you thought this was? You using me too? And so she didn't like that at first, but then he started rubbing on her and, putting in a couple smooth moves, and he started to put that little hot dog between them buns from behind, and next thing you know, they kissing, and she done forgot all about the using part, cause she about to use him for a little something too. Meanwhile, we see Kev, it's after school, and he over there at Emmett's spot eating, and he's showing her how Gemma been, dissing him and what's going on, and Papa start giving him advice as if he has a lot of experience with women, and he's telling him about how he need to treat her and how Kev ain't been there for her, ain't been there for his boys, and how he been selfish. And Kev is like, man, I ain't selfish, I'm just trying to do what's right, and I gotta promise my moms that I'm gonna do what's right. And so Kev feels confused. Meanwhile, Keisha, she start having a little stomach ache. It's probably from all that Emmett food that she been stuffing in her belly. And so we see Octavia try to help her and get her some help to the hospital. Meanwhile, Emmett talking with Tiff, and he's telling her and about he don't want her to see Dante no more, and she's telling him about the rules and what he can and can't do and who he can and can't see. And it seems that she got more rules that apply to him, but he don't have anything to say to her. And she like, so you want me to sleep around with many people, but you don't want me to sleep with Dante? And he says, well, that's not what I'm saying. And she says, so what you saying? And he didn't have no way to articulate that. Basically, she catching too much feelings with Dante. So next thing you know, we see she coming into Dante house like she got keys to the joint. And Dante, where you at? He popping up all on her shoulder, kissing on her neck. It's more than just a sexual relationship. She done really moved on emotionally, and it seems that she really enjoys being with Dante, and it's not just a sexual release. She's actually cheating with her heart. Meanwhile, we see Kev, and it's the same thing with him, whereas Gemma may not be sleeping with Jake, but she just moved on emotionally, and so he's on Papa's pulpit, and Papa's trying to help coach him on how to possibly get his girl back. And people were saying, man, you looking ridiculous, yeah, you better apologize, you trying hard. And he's over here trying to say, hey Gemma, this, that, and the other, I miss you, whatever. Pop's saying, hey, hold on, man, you sounding pathetic. Even people in the comments saying you sound pathetic, you don't don't have to act. That boy, he sound like a loser, all kind of stuff in the comments, and so he thinking he did good, whereas Papa really just used him to make his podcast interesting. Meanwhile, Imani popping up at Trig's occupation, and she ain't even got something to say to him. She on to the next one, going straight to Tracy, telling Tracy, how you gonna protect the neighborhood and you can't even protect people in the neighborhood by themselves? He's saying this person with the trap house needs your help, and Tracy is saying, oh, you Trig girl, I'm more than that. And she's saying, okay. And so for some reason Imani is mad at Tracy because the girls in the trap house are in trouble, and it's not Tracy's job to check all the trap houses. They need to call that number and ask for help. Anyway, Trig try to come over there, and Imani play him shady and tell him, hey, you better handle it. He say he want to handle it quietly. She say, well, you better, or else I'm going to handle it loud. And then Tracy say, you can't help the neighborhood if you can't help your own home. Meanwhile, Keisha sitting there belly rumbling. She's in trouble. The doctor come in. He's saying, hey, it looks like we may have to induce labor. And so her mama's worried. Keisha's worried. Octavia, she the only one ain't worried. So she's asking what test was done. Keisha's wondering why, what's happening. Is the baby okay? And so she's saying maybe you should double check and check those numbers. And so Keisha worried or whatever. She say, why don't we get you some water? Because it said that her, levels was kind of high. Meanwhile, we see Jada, and she's finally going through chemo, and I don't know if this is her first time or what, but this is the first time we see her. And Dre is getting calls from Nina, where you at, call me back, and Dre is ignoring her, not realizing Keisha's in the hospital. And so she's sitting here with Jada and putting all of this pressure and lies for no reason, and she's saying, hey, you need to let me tell him, and so you need to tell Emmett or something. And she's saying, well, I'm gonna tell him, just give me a second. I don't think he ready. Him and Tiff going through a thing. And so she's saying, well, we need to go ahead because Nina got a third eye and it's gonna be trouble. So anyway, if I was Nina and I found out that you was lying to me for her over this that was unnecessary, we would have some problems. Anyway, we see Jake. He was talking earlier in the episode with Gemma about fish sandwich, and asked her had she ever had one. She said she never had a fish sandwich before. So while they eating the sandwich, she had a little eyelash on her face. He took it off, and she said, well, come here, let me blow a wish. Make a wish, and blow the eyelash off his fingers all sexy like. And so he's like, oh, okay, what you wish for? And then she get up and kiss him. And he says, oh, okay, I thought you wished for something else. And she says, oh, is that right? He say, no, not that. I'm just saying, I thought you wish you was my girl. And she's like, is that right? And so it seemed Jake trying to, steal Kev's girl from right up under his nose. Meanwhile, we see that in the alley where Nook and his crew hang, we see Trig pull up, because now he got all this pressure from Imani to do something about the trap house. And so he pulls out a gun, walks straight up to Nook while he's surrounded with 5 to 10 people all around him, and puts a gun to his head and tells him, hey, I need to know what happened to the girl. What's going on? You know me, I ain't afraid to die. And so Nook, he kind of, tell everybody around him to calm down, don't do nothing, because they got guns to Trig head. And he see Trig crazy, and he just look him dead in the face, and the scene cuts off before any more words was said. Meanwhile, Nina is pissed and furious that Dre ain't been answering this damn phone, especially in an emergency situation. Now we see that Octavia had Keisha drinking some water, and Nina saying, how you know all this? She say, well, I done been through enough with doctors and lost enough kids to know they don't know everything. So Nina gotta apologize for triggering her. She say, it's alright, I just want what's best for Keisha. And so she's saying, you doing alright? And Keisha say, yeah, I'ma follow my gut and I'ma go with you. I've been thinking about you the whole time, and I'ma choose you for the baby. And so we see that Emmett is coming to the house to see his mom with his son, and Suede there, and Emmett is pissed again. The Suede been laying that pipe like Roto-Rooter 24/7, and so he goes and sees mom throwing up. He like, man, what is she, sick from all that damn pipe you been laying? And then she say, Emmett, I got cancer. And so, of all the ways to tell Emmett that she could have had, this is the worst possible way. Just as if Emmett told Tiff the worst possible way that he slept with Dom. It seems it runs in the family, and now he's hurt. It seems that back at the hospital with Keisha, that water must have been magical, because now she is feeling better. The levels is under control. The doctor tells them that everything is okay. They were kind of playing the doctor like a fool, even though it was the emergency room. They made it seem when he was saying patient that, well, he should have been knowing her name like the back of his hand. Nevertheless, she gonna go with Octavia. She's choosing her to be the new, adoptive parent, and everybody's happy, and it seems that everything is all good between them. As we see later, though, Kev is walking home. It seems that they have forgotten all about Kev this whole season, as far as Nina and Dre, because that they barely spend as much time with him. I understand Keisha got a lot going on, but Kev has too, and they have to split their time better, because he's going through a thing and he's texting Gemma, and she ain't responding, and she's saying, what do? We need to tell him that we kissed. And that's when Jake say, I ain't telling her, you tell him. It ain't that big of a deal. And she act as if they had sex, which they didn't. Meanwhile, when Dre finally get back, now we see that she getting the 3rd degree from Nina, and she's saying, damn, I was at work, why you tripping like that? I was doing this, doing that. And Nina is like, come on now. And Dre try to apologize and get all lovey-dovey and huggy, and tried to have some food there on the table to make him forget. And then when Kevin get home, they say a few things, check on him, and they go on to the next thing. Meanwhile, Emmett come back. He's a little sad. He got his son. Keisha's Tiffany is sitting there rolling up a blunt for him, and she passed the blunt after he put the baby up. And so she see he quiet and got a lot on his mind, and she say, what's up? You know we connected. I can always tell when something ain't right. And he say, man, this is my mom. And he kind of, quiet, and we had to assume that he done broke down and told her. Meanwhile, we see Nina and Dre in the bed. Dre done got put to sleep, and then the phone ring, and text message, and it's Jada talking about thanks for keeping our secret, which was stupid thing to text, and Nina saw it. Meanwhile, we see Trig come and slide this cell phone to Imani and say, did you give the girl at the trap house this phone? Well, Nook found it, and they found the girl's dead body just not too far from there in the field. And so basically, Imani got this girl killed trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho, and got the girl killed by trying to slide her this phone, and Nook found it, and he took it, killed the girl, and Imani pissed, tried to walk off. Trig tried to stop her, and she mad at Trig, saying, you should have did something sooner, whereas she should have waited and not did so much. Now it's time for some real talk. This is where I talk about what I think about the episode. So in the very beginning, I think that it's kind of messed up how they starting this open relationship when they both are in their very early 20s. There's no need for an open relationship. They should just move on. And it seems that Emmett is not even trying to be in an open relationship, because he did like you should and do all of your messing around before you get married, whereas Tiff is still feeling things out. It seemed that Tracy doesn't really understand the gravity of messing around with such a public figure, and Rose is all in their business, which makes things worse. And I think that she's gonna eventually understand that this may not be the type of relationship she wants. Kev, I think, needs a little more support in his life. It seems that his mom and Dre are barely spending any time in his life, know what's going on, are there to support him, and they're making it seem and blow it way out of proportion, the little things that he has done. I mean, he is a good dude for the most part. He could be a whole lot worse, and I think they had taken it a little overboard. Gemma fake revolutionary with Jake and the TV show. I think what they were saying, they were disrespectful with the principal in the principal's office. They lucky they didn't get suspended, and I think both of them are spoiled because they both have somebody with money and support that got their back, and they paying tuition, whereas Jake has Duda, and Gemma has her daddy, whereas Kev just has a scholarship that can be taken away and he could be kicked out of school. I think that Imani really made a big mistake giving that girl the cell phone. How the hell did she meet the girl in that little corner store anyway and know that that's where they would be and coordinate that? And who told Imani to try to save this girl? If the girl really needed to get away, she could have found a way to get away or tried a little harder. I don't know, but they didn't elaborate on that story enough, and this is why you need the police in the city, because they can't do anything with people like Nook killing people. What they gonna do? Tell them take a walk around the block and walk it off? That's why you need the cops. I think that Keisha got triggered with the church people that wanted to adopt, because the guy that kidnapped her was using the Bible and a lot of things that said in the Bible as a reason and justification for doing a crazy thing, such as kidnapping that girl and raping her. So that's one thing I could think of why she may have been triggered, but I don't know if it was justified. I do like how Kev told the girls, Gemma, that this little pro-black plan sounds stupid, and this they should chill on the revolutionary road. But she ain't listening, and we'll see how it all turns out in the end for him. I also think that Tiffany got a lot more rules and regulations for Emmett than he got for her, and his main rule with her and Dante, he need to learn how to articulate it better, because it is backfiring on him big time, and Tiff already done moved on emotionally. I also think that Dakota being the white shield was just a play to get them to leave so she could take her ass back to class and move on, because they plan was stupid, and they the only two that ended up leaving, which ended up being them basically ditching class. Kev, I think, got misused by Papa on his little podcast, because Papa's advice works for him and his girlfriend, but that don't mean it's gonna work with Kev and his girlfriend. And Papa's only had one girlfriend that we ever seen him with, so how does he know advice and what to do and what not to do? And I'm pretty sure that his advice is gonna backfire on his ass later in the show too, because he ain't nothing but a kiss up, suck up, and I'm pretty sure his feelings is too involved in his relationship as well as with Maisha. And also, Imani is really getting on my nerves in this show, in this episode, especially mad at Trig, mad at Tracy, always mad at the wrong person for the wrong things that they didn't do. And you need to direct your anger appropriately to who you mad at, and stop blaming everybody else for what you do and what somebody else did. She need to take responsibility for sliding that phone and trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho and do all this stuff, whereas that's why the police is there. Call the cops. And Dre need to tell Nina what the hell's going on. Why is you holding this secret with Jada and giving more loyalty to Jada than you are to your wife? That makes no sense, especially over something as simple as cancer. And one of the last things that I really want to talk about is how in the hell did Trig pull that gun on Nuck in the alley and live to tell about it, especially when he was surrounded with all them dudes. They would have been and blew his head off. Nuck, if you buck, boy, because he would have been gone. How he gonna pull a gun on him, threaten him in his life, and then get the phone and leave and become unscathed? I think that that's going to end up coming back for Trig, and they're going to try to kill him for that. So we'll see how that plays out. In the end, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. Peace. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit that like, subscribe, bang that bell, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.